Just over the weekend, we had some fantastic, great news, especially from D. Bradley Baker, the voice behind all the clones that we see in animated version, especially now that The Bad Batch has finally come to a conclusion. There is a lot of excitement about what the future of Star Wars animation holds, and D. Bradley Baker was much sincere when it came to that. In San Diego Comic-Con, as I said, this past weekend, he talked extensively about what can we expect. And so he went on to say, personally and selfishly, what I would love to see is, I would love to see Rex, Gregor, Ekko, and Wolf, and maybe even Cody, and see what they do to get them to what we saw in Rebels. What do these rogue clones now do once the events that transpired in The Bad Batch have played out? I'd love to see that. I think the fans would too. Where are the clones? I don't know where they are, but they're still there, and these stories can still be explored. That's one of the wonderful things about Star Wars. You don't have to take everything forward in a linear path. You can go sideways, you can go backwards, you can pick a point in that timeline and just open that up. And there you have a galaxy of wondrous fun available at any point. This is extremely exciting for a multitude of things. Him saying this during San Diego Comic-Con tells you a lot. Tells you that he is sworn to secrecy still. He cannot reveal everything, but the sheer fact that he mentioned literally everybody. Rex, Gregor, Wolf, Ekko, and Cody. Remember, Ekko and Cody are not in Rebels, so him mentioning these two as well, we knowingly know now that they survived. Even with Cody, we didn't find out what happened to Cody after Season 2 of The Bad Batch. He wasn't mentioned in Season 3 or appeared, so now we kind of have this confirmation that he is still alive from D. Bradley Baker. Why else would he mention him? He had private conversations with Dave Filoni, and now he might have leaked, of course, that he is still alive. Cody is still out there somewhere, and we're gonna find out in a future animated series about the Clone Rebellion. As Season 3 of The Bad Batch was waning on, we saw that the group was in dire, desperate need of more help. We know that Rex defected. We saw that Wolf was toying with the idea, because at the end of the day, he let the guys go. Much more to his detriment, I'm sure. If somebody snitched on him, he will have a very bad time after those episodes where we don't see him anymore. So probably the next time we see Wolf, he's either in an Imperial prison or has definitely joined the guys. But what about Commander Cody? He doesn't fit in any of this. We've talked previously in other videos that Commander Cody is a bit of an enigma at this point because he is nowhere to be found after Season 2. He is in the early episodes of Season 2, never seen again. We just know that he went AWOL, and we waited and waited for him to show up in Season 3, but he is nowhere to be found, not even mentioned once. This is highly suspicious, but I think I know the answer, and the answer lies in, of course, Revenge of the Sith, essentially the plague that has been bothering Commander Cody's character ever since we saw him attack his Jedi General, our favorite Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, during Order 66. We have a major problem here, and I think this is why Dave Filoni brought Commander Cody back. I think this is why we don't see Commander Cody again in the Bad Batch series, and perhaps I'm hoping we're going to see Commander Cody again in perhaps a Clone Rebellion show, the one that we've been discussing for so long now. This is my ultimate wish. I think that series should be even bigger than The Bad Batch, even better, because I just can't imagine a filler episodes with like Captain Rex and Wolf, Gregor, Ekko, all these guys. You will not have a filler episode with these guys going up against the Empire. Every episode, I think, will be crucial. But where is Commander Cody then if he isn't with the Bad Batch guys, if he isn't with Captain Rex, if he isn't with anybody? Well, one little tiny shred of hope we have is that the rumors were during the Obi-Wan development series. We saw a lot of rumors floating about We knew that Obi-Wan and Vader will have their rematch, but what we suspected, and we finally got it confirmed by the writers and the people surrounding that show, is that there was a scene scrapped, deleted, that was supposed to feature Commander Cody defected from the Empire, finding Obi-Wan to make amends. I think in the early stages it was even shown that he was still with the Empire, but he hid Obi-Wan's true identity even though he found out who he really is. So there's a lot of speculation there, but whatever the case, we know that they were planning this. They were definitely planning a meeting with Obi-Wan and Cody. This gives you a huge clue as to the future of Commander Cody because he has a real penance to make. This is what is troubling him in the Bad Batch series, is that the Empire has replaced the clones. He is hurting, but he is mostly thinking about Order 66 and what did they do wrong? They followed blindly an empire that is leading them to their extinction, and they replaced them with the Jedi that were very kind to them, albeit not all of them, but 99%, especially when you think about how Obi-Wan treated the clones, how Plo Koon, how Anakin, all these guys treated the clones as if they were real brothers. I think that Dave Filoni and Lucasfilm essentially brought back Cody from the dead into the Bad Batch Season 2 just because they wanted his story arc to lead to Obi-Wan Kenobi eventually. Maybe not in the Bad Batch season, maybe not in the Obi-Wan series, but sooner rather than later, I think that definitely we're gonna see Cody end up on Tatooine or perhaps somewhere else meeting with Obi-Wan. There were rumors, of course, after the Obi-Wan series ended, is that there's gonna be a season 2. Ewan McGregor talked about it, everybody talked about how possibly there could be a season 2, and if there is a season 2 of Obi-Wan, I think that there definitely we will have a meeting between Obi-Wan and Cody, an older Cody at that. Of course, if you would ask me at that time, I hated Commander Cody. It was a known thing. The clones turned against the Jedi, and Commander Cody, without an afterthought, he just receives the order and he attempts to kill Obi-Wan right then and there on Utapau. Now, mind you, this is before we knew anything about, hey, inhibitor chips, the Kamino ones, Palpatine. We just saw Palpatine appear on a holo projection saying execute Order 66, and Cody, without hesitation, shoots at Obi-Wan. So naturally, we thought that Cody was a traitor. Come to learn, and during the Clone Wars series, and this is where Dave Filoni kind of steps in, together with George Lucas, to be fair, and we learned that, hey, things were not as clear-cut as it seemed in Revenge of the Sith. In Revenge of the Sith, because it's a movie, because it needs to be, kind of 2 hours, they sped up things. George Lucas just, made the clones to be fodder, where in the Clone Wars series, we get attached to these clones emotionally, we get to actually realize what they stand for, and the different personalities, the different haircuts, the different mindset, thinking, and this is where we appreciated Commander Cody more together with Captain Rex. We kind of fell in love with these characters, and by the end, even though we know that Commander Cody will betray Obi-Wan, will execute Order 66, we loved Commander Cody. Now, what happens during the Bad Batch is the first time we see Commander Cody after Order 66. The Clone Wars series showed us only how Cody was before Order 66. Now in the Bad Batch, we still sympathize with Commander Cody, and this is because of Dave Filoni and how perfectly he steered the storyline of the tragedy that is Commander Cody. He was stuck between a rock and a hard place. He essentially was a character that could not find salvation. Here he is fighting for a republic that ultimately will not appreciate him, order him to shoot his friends, the Jedi, betray everything he stood for during the Republic. Now during the Empire, they are casting him away. He is basically a nobody. Everybody is outranking him, and he decides to abandon the Empire too and go AWOL. I didn't think that the Bad Batch could do wonders for Commander Cody, but it did. You have to admit that we still love Commander Cody to a point, and I think for us to actually appreciate him again, and this is why I've talked constantly, is, yep, you guessed it, this new clone series, that I think this is where we learn more about where Commander Cody is, what happened to him. And yeah, this time around, I'm not in the same mindset as Ekko. As I said in a previous video, Ekko might still be alive, even though we don't see him in the final moments of the Bad Batch. After Omega's grown up and goes to fight for the rebellion, we don't see Ekko in Rebels either, but I think that Ekko is somewhere around there in the galaxy. What I don't think is that Cody is around anymore during the Rebels times. I think that if Cody were to have a successful arc, a successful storyline, and for us to really appreciate this character in this new series, in this new clone series, fighting against the Empire, Rex, Hauser, Ekko, and presumably Cody joining them, I think that at some point or another, Cody will have to sacrifice himself. I think that it would be fitting, knowing that he could not forgive himself for what he did to Obi-Wan, and of course, the stories, as I said during the Ekko video, Rex meeting up with Vader, Cody meeting up with a hermit Obi-Wan on Tatooine. These are opportunities that could just be complete gold. Epic moments to a grand proportion. I would love to see that, and I know you guys would love to see that too. Talk to me down below in the comments. Tell me what you think.